Welcome to the first episode of a show we don't have a name yet for. We're in the basement of Wonderland Comics. I'm D-Man.
I'm Tom Smith.
Dunzilla.
We've decided that we're going to do some shows for you, which are going to have a whole bunch of stuff in it about comics. We haven't really decided what it's going to be, but we're going to have, like, talk about comics and movies and all sorts of stuff. And we decided the first episode we're going to start with action number 1, whereas we all know that's where it all started, Tom.
I agree. Without this comic book, we wouldn't have this store. None of this would be here. There would be no Superman movies, no superheroes in general. That's where it started. All with Jerry Siegel and Joey Shuster.
Who just had an idea, and it carried through and it came, 1938 it started. And since then we've had movies, we've had good movies, bad movies, serials, cartoons, toys, video games.
Good TV, bad TV.
Yep, all sorts. Other things, it's really interesting to think that one comic started it all. And it came out during wartime, when I wasn't there then, but I know that wartime was a tough, bad thing where they had a lot of stuff that they were...
Oh, yeah. You know, it was the Great Depression, height of Depression. Superman at the time, he didn't fly. He was sort of a champion of the oppressed. And he helped out those who couldn't help themselves.
So, and then they decided that they want to change it up later on. We go into later on, and they decided to make they kill Superman at one time, which was one of the biggest selling comics ever. And the sad thing about it is people bought it and thought they were going to put the kids through college. Lo and behold, that didn't happen, which is kind of sad. And then they thought when he came back that they'd be able to put their kid, whatever, through college again, or their other kids.
Superman has had countless incarnations over the past, oh God, what is it, 79 years now we're on? 79 years, and he survived depressions, wars.
Bad haircuts.
Bad haircuts, bad movies, bad politics, good politics. Yep. Best of times, worst of times.
But he's the shining hope for everybody. I mean, you think about it, he's from another planet, and he's helping our planet out, which you gotta like, you know? I mean, that's kind of nice. His parents sent us to us, and because of our son, he's super strong, which is kind of cool. I mean, if he could do that, and all that stuff. And I just think that he was an amazing
They
character.
kind of took an Old Testament story and just sort of modified it. You know, it's very similar to Moses sending them down the river and all that.
No, I agree with you.
I liked it.
That makes sense. They're also, I mean, like I said, Superman is also one of the Justice League. He's one of the founding members of Justice League.
Yeah.
Him and Batman and Aquaman and
Flash
and Green Arrow and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Who has got a movie coming out in the summertime? Little plug there. As does the Justice League.
With Superman.
With Superman, yes. Well, Superman's dead, but he's supposedly will probably come back because you can't have the Justice League without Superman, per se. Any thoughts?
Yeah. The problem with these books, like the death of and bringing them back, is the problem is they overprinted. So that's why people who thought they would send their kids through college with one comic book were gravely mistaken.
Right.
Problem with overprinting is it decreases the value of the comic book. That's why something like this, you know, printed over 80 years ago, if you can find that, it's like a multi-million-dollar comic book.
I think it sold not that long ago in Pittsburgh for like 1.5, almost 2.
Well,
at auction.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good point you make. The other point is the fact is back then with this one, no one knew they were worth any money, so mostly they threw them away. Now you
Or they would fold them up and put them in
People
their
traded
pocket,
their comics and just kept them like this and put them in their pocket.
Exactly. Whereas now you go full circle. You go up to now to January. What is this? January 92 when this happened. Yep. Now people are more interested in their comics, and they know, whoa, there's actually value in comics. We're going to actually, hold on to our comics. And you're right, it is a print run. Case in point, Walking Dead #1, which came out and was very low print run, which was a very obscure comic, and now it's worth going for as much as $2,000 a pop because you can't get it. And the only reason why that got big is because of the Walking Dead show. Exactly. If it hadn't been for the show, it'd still be in obscurity.
And going with obscurity, coming back to Superman.
Yeah.
Superman only had the comic books up until, like, I think, what was it, 1941, 1942, and they decided to put cartoons as a coming attraction for big budget movies at the time.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers did the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then Superman broke off, had his own movie serials to try to get more kids involved in watching Superman, reading the comic book, seeing their hero on screen.
And a lot of times Superman fought like the
bad scientists, mob,
and the Nazis.
Nazis.
Yeah, and all that stuff. And it was like really, really good. And that was one of the greatest. It was there was like 18, 19 episodes, but it was one of the better cartoons that came out with Superman.
Oh yeah.
Way back then, they did a really good job. And my one thought is, I think that the comics themselves, when you take the time to know what you're doing, it pays off. When you want to do a quick rush job, it doesn't, and that's where that lacks as far as it. But like it all started here, and that's where it's all about.
Superman, and on that though, Superman Now, if you want to get into Superman Now, DC just had a rebirth where they revamped the entire universe yet again. We can do an entire
episode on that, yeah.
Why comic books feel the constant need to revamp over numerous years.
And a quick reason for that is because they don't think people will buy a comic that's issue number 152. Back when I was younger, I bought an issue, I didn't care what issue it was, I bought it because I wanted to be part of the thing. If I bought back issues, I did. Comic companies need to realize people don't have that kind of a short attention span, and they really should give them a chance to read and let them keep reading, because now, you're going to have 12 issues and go on to another? It's just not right.
Superman appears now in Action Comics, Superman, and Justice League. Correct. The big books that he's the star of.
So and Trinity.
And Trinity,
yes.
Batman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So, we're going to have a final thought with Dunn in a second, but one last thing. We do a trivia thing. Can I see the comics there?
Absolutely.
We have a trivia thing. The other one, thanks. This right here, this is Image Comics. I'll do this real quick. Image Comics does the thing with comic book stores. We want to be in your book, so this is our quick hype. Please put us in your book. Wonderland Comics. Okay, that's that.
Well, Daryl's trivia question, if you answer this question, you can win this comic that you can only get here at Wonderland Comics.
Which is the greatest comic book store in the world, as we all know. The question is...
A Doctor Who comic.
Yeah, Doctor Who comic, right. The question, there's only 350 of these known to be around. That's it. No more, no less. This right here is a symbol. If the first person comes into the store and tells us what this symbol is and where it came from, will win that comic. Now to Dunn for his final thoughts on what we just talked about.
Well, my opinion, what people don't seem to talk about often enough is what would happen if Superman snapped and turned evil. Like, what would the world be like? And I'm sure, as you know, probably the one writer that actually touched on that basis was Mark Waid.
Yep.
With the Irredeemable story. It's about the Superman type turning evil and wiping out half the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, they also did that in that other comic there. What's it? That one that you guys are reading, the one where Superman kills Injustice, where he kills Joker, where he thinks he's killing the Joker, but kills Lois Lane and just destroys everything. Yeah.
I agree, though. Injustice is a good story.
Yeah, I do too. Well,
and I'm with him. It's a good.
The name of the thing? You guys gonna ask people about that?
Oh yeah, thank you. Oh, and the last other thing we got to do is we still need a name for our show. So if you could let us know, that'd be great. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this. We will be back with another episode soon. Take care.